And this is another question I'm not sure that this candidate, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has answered adequately. She has been asked, actually on The View, what is the difference between the democratic socialism of Bernie Sanders, or of this young candidate, and just plain socialism?
Right. Well, first, I think that we should point out the irony, exactly like what you said. The further that we've gone away from being deprived, financially and of opportunities, the harder it is for us to understand the importance of delayed gratification. And specifically, if you look at Ocasio-Cortez, in her specific story, it really is amazing that just a year ago she was a bartender and now she's up for this position. It really is amazing. But what she seems not to understand is that it wasn't socialism that enabled her rags to riches story. It was free market capitalism and the opportunities that she was able to pursue. That her rags to riches story is not just possible in the United States, but plausible in the United States because of capitalism, because of what we've been able to do through freedom. And when you ask her specifically the question that you just asked, what is the difference between democratic socialism and socialism? There's absolutely nothing except that it's socialism that you actually choose. If you go to the Democratic Socialist site, all of the suggested reading that they have is by Karl Marx and authors of socialism. There's not a new faction of democratic socialists. They just put democratic in front of it to make us Western people like it.
Well, I think you hit on something that's really important, that democratic socialism entails that, I guess, we the people, or all the people that voted for Ocasio-Cortez, are actually choosing to go down that path. They're choosing to relinquish their individual freedom and give it to the government so that the government can redistribute it, because some people then will get free things while others are going to have things taken from them in order to have those things given to the less fortunate by the government. But that choice perhaps makes it worse in my mind, because you're not just making that choice for yourself, you're making that choice on behalf of somebody else who then doesn't get that choice, and that's awful. One more question before we run out of time. Her policies that she's proposing: free housing, free healthcare, Medicare for all, she calls it, free college tuition, a guaranteed jobs program, minimum wage, all of these free things. Why won't these policies that she's proposing lead to the collapse of an economy like we can see right now in Venezuela, like we've seen in Cuba, like the Soviet Union saw so many years ago?
Well, what they say is that because we are not Venezuela, we have a different government. But it doesn't make sense, because if you don't like the current administration, why would you want to give them all of the power in the world that will undoubtedly corrupt them? What we know as a principle throughout time is that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is what a socialist government is. What they say is that socialism is the people taking over the means of production. But in order to seize property and seize the means of production, the government has to come in and do that. And it's that government coercion that leads to the collapse that we're seeing in Venezuela. It's happened throughout history. We would be no exception.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.